In the second series of the Playday, we have the Spanish team We Are Not Prepared going up against Alternate. Alternate has been struggling a lot in the European scene within the last few weeks, and We Are Not Prepared is on the top of the world right now. These guys are so damn good. And everybody expects a huge victory here, of course, from We Are Not Prepared. But Alternate, they might be able to just like come back. They have a bit of interesting comp that they're starting with into the first game. So let's jump right into Cursed Hollow and find out which team is going to come out on top in this first map of the best of 3 series between We Are Not Prepared and Team Alternate. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, on Cursed Hollow between We Are Not Prepared and Team Alternate here at the ESL Majors. We are on Cursed Hollow, map number 1, and to the left side we have Mopsio for Alternate, on Tyrael Vasiliano on the Nubarak. We have Gluhammer on Vala, Rimek on Uther, and Guccio on Tassadar for the Polish team. To the right side, the Spaniards with Polato on Brightwing, Black Scorp on Illidan, Tidaka on Muradin, Falcon on Hammer, and Kilachino on Tychus. I'm Khaldor, with me is Kilarius, and we're going to bring you this coverage of the ESL Majors with game number 1 between these two top European teams.
Alright, and we're seeing already a Nubarak just head off to the top here against Muradin. Meanwhile, at the bottom, looks like we're going to have Vala, Uther, as well as Mr. Tassadar up there, and also actually lurking in the shadows. Well, actually, Tassadar was the one lurking in the shadows, as Tyrael's already down at the bottom. So, eventually heading up to mid is Guccio. Very, very nice position for Tassadar in mid.
I can't help myself. Every single time I see Kilachino playing a hero or a match in Heroes of the Storm, I immediately am craving some coffee. It's a very unfortunate nickname in that regard. But yeah, the Spanish team, they are absolutely amazing. They are great players, they have great synergy, and they've been doing very well in the European scene in the last few weeks. I want to say month. This has been a great year for the Spanish community in general, and yeah, I envy them a little bit.
Yeah, well, they don't quite have exactly the amount of sustains that they want against the small comp at the bottom of this lane just yet, but and we'll see how this is going to play out. Of course, still a lot to be played for, even at the start of this game, as they're just soaking up their experience well, as they are in the other couple of lanes, playing this pretty slowly out.
Yeah, the top lane and the mid lane, this is what usually, normally you don't really see a hero really winning a lane there. It's more about keeping the experience and making sure that you don't have a problem with that. The bot lane is what it really comes down to, as we see the tri lane for both teams here. In terms of talents, also pretty standard. I guess the two that we should probably talk about is especially, of course, Nubarak with the extended spikes that we have on level 1. It's not a hero that you see often these days, so his build is something that we're going to focus on a bit more. And another hero then is also Illidan with the Shadow Shield. He's one of those heroes where it's very crucial, I feel, to stick with a standard build, which allows you to play a bit more defensive or to at least survive in those fights, because if you don't do that, it's very, very hard to stay alive and not die immediately.
Oh, slight miss there from Kilachino on his grenade. Doesn't knock Vala exactly into the position that he wanted. So no extra damage to be done there, but Brightwing just bases and comes right back into their fight. So, and that's the real boon of what we're seeing here from Brightwing in this tri-lane composition that we're seeing at the moment. But Tychus for a little while actually looking to move into mid.
Yeah, and well, Tychus is currently, actually Tychus is moving into the middle and gives Black Scorp the opportunity to get one of the camps. At level 4, level 5, you can really start soling those camps, and that's why we had that rotation happening. Black Scorp immediately going to the right side, where he starts to take the Siege Giant camp to push the lanes with that. Level 4 talents, again, with the extra healing on Tyrael to give him the sustain, especially since he's one of the main tanks in the comp. And for Nubarak, we actually have Legion of Beetles taken. Beetles in general, one of the things that you hate to go up against when you're playing a hero like Stitches, which we don't see in this, but I want to mark on it anyways. That's, yeah, you always seem to hook those Beetles instead of heroes. Yeah,
they always get in the way. It's pretty irritating. Likewise, if I'm ever going up against Azmodan, for some reason I always somehow end up hooking the little minions. Some Azmodans can be very quick, but you don't really see Azmodan too much, unfortunately, at the top level. There's a little bit of a jump in there. Maybe it was an attempt at a body block on Darker, but doesn't get it in the end. And the tribute will end up going over in Team Alternate's favor.
Yeah, Alternate getting the tribute, and they have to defend the bot lane now against the Siege Giant camp, and Falcon welled up and is starting to move in to defend that, at least for now. Level 7 hitting at the same time, and we have 3 times first aid taken on the side of We Are Not Prepared for, well, Tiger, Sergeant, and Illidan, so a lot of self-heal.
Yep. That's a lot of self-heal, you're right. I guess, you know, the extra sustain against the comp that we're seeing from their opponents, they've got so much stun and so much potential to really try and get on top of someone. The extra sustain is really going to help out. So, yeah, maybe it's nice to see all the first aids.
Yeah. I mean, it's the standard builds that we have for those heroes. It's just like really interesting to see them all in one. I think this is also one of the reasons why they are thinking about a different healer, since they knew that this would be the case. At this point, also the extra talent for the bit of barbs for good old the Beetle for Vasiliano on his Anubarak, and he's trying to stun up Blackscorp. Nice dodge, by the way. Blackscorp is still very low and has to be careful that he's not going to die here.
Yeah, I guess to jump over there, over to Playday and get on out. But still, now we're seeing 2 of 3 tribs go in favor of Team Alternate, and they're not that far behind in terms of experience whilst trying to pick those up.
Exactly, so that forces the Spanish team to fight for every single tribute that is now happening on the map, so they need to be extremely careful with that. They might hit the 10 just a second faster, but still, this is a problem. Oh, and at the top.
Great body blocks, really good body blocks there for Blackscorp and Darker, who positioned themselves so well against that. And considering the position Anubarak was in, and no actual, he didn't burrow out or anything like that, that was very, very impressive there by them.
Well, level 10, by the way, is faster now for them, of course, and they're going to get those extra talents in. And that should be Metamorphosis also on Illidan. I'm sure that Trixler would love to see Hunt in competitive play, but we're not there yet.
No. Nope, it is indeed that Metamorphosis. So, and there's not too much of a room for them to really fight at this point. Guccio actually retreats on back out in the mid, and Vasiliano just holding on strong here after that poor little death that he had, as they now hit level 10 as well.
Yeah, we have Strafe taken in this game, and not Rain of Vengeance from another Valor player. Of course, this time for Team Alternate, going for the Strafe talent. And on level 10, we have the Locust Swarm for Anubarak. As we go for the next tribute, they need to interrupt that and do it with a grenade.
Pushing forwards here was Mopsio, but he did end up getting Polymorph. There's a nice Divine Storm on 3 of them, but not too much damage to really follow it up here from ATN side of things. Blackscorp actually doing a lot of damage to Gluehammer up at the top, on top of him, whilst 2 others were trying to push him back. And Rhymecheck actually ends up dying. He was almost away, but Tychus on top.
Yeah, very well done here, and especially that kill on Uther. I really like that. Killer Chino was moving in several times with the grenade to push Uther back here, back into the team, and he did that very well. Now down at the bottom, Falcon and Killer Chino are going for the boss on level 11, since they know that they just killed 2 heroes. They're very eager to get an advantage, but since Tacita is still lurking in the area, they have to abandon that. So good pressure by Alternate. I like that they're trying to delay it here for as long as they can.
Yeah, Guccio, very well done. And Mopsio is here as well with Gluehammer to just make sure that this isn't going to be as easily taken away from them as they would like. And actually, you know, Blackscorp has been a little bit further out here whilst all of this is going on. Might want to actually reinforce, because now they're going to get cursed.
They're going to get cursed. They were too greedy. They were simply too greedy. They killed 2 heroes, and they were looking at the map and were saying, alright, we're going to get boss and the tribute. And Alternate just simply didn't have it. Alternate were like moving in with like saying, hey, we're going to try and delay you for as long as we can. And that ended up with We Are Not Prepared moving back all together and giving up the tribute too.
Very surprised there by Blackscorp, but to have left when he did. But in the end, at least they're going to get a boss along with the other boss going along. But bot lane is heavily pressured now, with them being cursed as well as that boss pushing in.
Yeah, boss is pushing in. The only one to really defend it is Falcon, and Sergeant Hammer is a great hero to go for the defensive position here. But of course, without those towers shooting, he's gonna have he's having a lot of work ahead of him. But the problem still that we are seeing for Alternate is that level advantage that exists for the opponent's team. Level 13 already. That's a massive talent advantage for them.
Yeah, those kills really racked up that experience very nicely. Gluehammer's actually going to pressure along with Vasiliano up to the top, as Playday can't really stick around without too much support from him. So maybe losing this top 4, that's a nice pickup there for ATN to catch up in terms of that experience lost.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna start to catch up in that. The problem, of course, is that all of the experience that came, or the experience lead, was just like given to them by the rest of the experience that they had when the lanes were pushing in. So they still can kill all these structures that Alternate already took out, and that's gonna give them even a bigger experience boost. We are not prepared, of course, so that might lead them into a very early level 16. But we still have Alternate pushing the mid lane now and trying to endanger another fort.
Yeah, I mean, you really make a good point about the experience, because, yeah, they got the fort up at the top, but the fort down at the bot also fell, thanks to We Are Not Prepared's responsiveness to that situation after going down. At least, though, we're seeing ATN pick up that, their opponent's hard camp, which was a nice little steal, considering it was on the other opponent's side of the map, and that won't be up for quite a while.
What I kind of like right now is that we're having for Tyrael a bit of a different build. We've been talking a lot about the Tyrael builds, and in this case it's actually the shield that is really prioritized over anything else on level 7 and level 13. So a bit of a change there to that, what we normally see. Also no cast aside therefore in this game for Tyrael. So a bit of a different attempt that we see from Alternate compared to what happened in the last game, where Wilmette was playing and yeah, against PKD. So yeah, an interesting touch to see how different teams approach those lineups in a very different manner.
You know, Vasiliano may have, well, it's all gone and past now, but there was a small moment there where his burrow was on cooldown and he actually passed a bush where they were hiding, but they ended up moving out of position anyway. We Are Not Prepared, so there was no opportunity there. And just holding on in the mid here are Alternate, because they know exactly where the We Are Not Prepared are at this point.
Yeah, and We Are Not Prepared is of course waiting for the 16 now. They do not want to fight before that happens. They already retreat towards the shadow of the fort, since they realize that Alternate is of course very eager to start that battle before the next talent hits for their opponent. But they are not gonna do them that favor. There's already the 16 about to happen, just those few mercenaries, and then it's gonna be there.
Yeah, it's
perfect
rapidly
timing.
approaching. Yeah, exactly. With the tribute coming up to the top now, this is going to give them the extra talent. So much stone skin, so much sustain being added on there through level 16 that they don't want to be taking this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only that triple stone skin, then you have the stone form on Muradin as well.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is like incredible. If it was hard to defeat that lineup before, then right now you're gonna have an even tougher time to do that, so that talent very important here indeed.
It'd be funny if they all just pop it at the same time and it's like, well, I mean, okay then, but of course, like once somebody gets focused down in that fight...
Oh, talking about focus, mid lane, okay, he abandoned. Sorry to interrupt, but Vasiliano actually with a burrow strike trying to get Killer Chino here, but suddenly Polado jumping in on the Brightwing, and that was a bit too much action for the Beetle. He did move back.
Yeah, caught the jump in, but you're right, it was a little bit too much of a commitment, as all people have really kind of retreated back to lanes. We're seeing Muradin go back to bot to try and push off Moptio as well as Glue Hammer, and I think it looks like they really want to take this middle fort. It's so low, it's not got any ammo. Well, I say so low, it's half health, but...
My god. Oh, well, they're actually jumping in, and the stun against Killer Chino. They're trying to drop him, and down goes Tychus, one of the main damage dealers in the lineup.
Yeah, nice pick up there to start this fight off. They even get the fort as well. Of course, that was going to die off due to the damage that was coming out around that fight. And, well, those Impaling Spikes just allowing them to dance up and down a little bit and just going to back off. Can't really get too much more behind that wall.
Killeris, take a look at the level 16 talents that we're seeing for Alternate. This is crazy. There's no surprise there that Tychus dropped this fast. If you have a triple blood for blood on the opponent's team, then nobody is safe anymore. Stone skin or no stone skin.
I love the tactics from both teams. They're like the complete opposite at level 16. It's like, we've got a lot of sustain. We've got a lot of damage. One of you is going to blow up, whether you like it or not. Oh my god.
This is like one of those things, if you are like a tank, like Muradin, and you open that talent tab and you see that, the only thing that you are thinking is like, oh shit. Because you know that you are a primary target for that to happen. And it doesn't matter how many hit points you have. If a triple blood for blood hits you, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, tough stuff. Well, they're going to take boss up to the top, but actually this may end up getting contested if they can get there very, very quickly. Gluehammer as well as Moptio leading the charge here to push Polter off the point, and does finally get on Blackscorp. A big fight is going to break out here. Divine Storm actually catch Polata as well as into Judgment on Polata as well, but the Odin hasn't gone contested really.
Polata going down and Vala immediately dying as well. Blackscorp is still alive and is jumping the backline. Tried it once again. Here comes the Impale from Basiliano, but at the same time Rimmick is in a lot of trouble. Blackscorp needs to move away. There's just no heal anymore. He can't go in again. There's still Brightwing missing and T-Darker is trying to finish the job, but he is not getting close enough. Wow, that was so important that they killed Brightwing there. Without the Brightwing kill, I'm pretty sure that Illidan would have jumped in again to finish the job.
Yeah, they really locked Brightwing down very hard, and now look at this baiting out a fight. If they were even to attempt to come for that tribute, they were waiting in that bush just straight towards their base, and it would have been difficult there for We Are Not Prepared to engage.
And talking about bases, I mean, during all of that, the two golems, the two bosses were pushing. The one at the bot lane was able to take down at least the wall of We're Not Prepared, and it looks like the one at the top lane is not only gonna achieve the same thing. He's gonna push in even further. Finally, one of the alternate players reacting. Gluehammer on Vala is saying like, hey, we should probably take care of this bad boy over here, and then now moves in, but the keep is still gonna suffer a few hit point losses.
Yeah, going ham, getting quite a bit of damage done there. A little bit of ammo being taken away as well from that, and if they do clear some of those waves, maybe they can push that a little bit even further. But they will need to, since the bot lane here has the same potential from Team Alternate as well.
Mid lane push once again. The tribute is there. That would be the cursed tribute against We Are Not Prepared. So they have to fight for it. They want to fight for it. They have Falcon in position. Blackscorp is there. Is there an initiation? Rimmick is already waiting to hit his sprint and move in. And yeah, there's mines everywhere by now. That's of course the one setup that Falcon really wants to prepare, that there are always mines that push the opponent away.
Oh, Vasiliano on the right-hand side, waiting for an opportunity, that prime opportunity to just dive in against all of this. And Muradin, for the longest time, was in a good spot to take that engagement, but Mopsio jumped right on in. Here comes Odin as well, being popped. Blackscorp gets taken very low during all of that, has to metamorphosis down.
And they're jumping in immediately, but Blackscorp goes down. He's completely split of Brightwing, who was in the back. T-Darker jumps back in the last second. He was extremely low. Mopsio just barely survives, but he does. And Falcon doesn't have the thrusters active anymore, so he gets dropped as well. The fourth kill for Alternate, and they are chasing the rest away as well. Polator is dying too. They are cursed as well. And oh my god, this is a bloodbath, Galaris.
ATN, what are they up to? What have they been doing? Because this is a great little game out of them. And no less within an Uberak. At the moment, they're on We Are Not Prepared's doorstep, bringing down this wall. They're going to get themselves their keep. It's going to be very difficult for that to be delayed off with just 2 against 5.
Yeah, it was just such a problem for Blackscorp to stay alive. Oh my god, like once again another kill. Tychus is down. Is that maybe even going to be game? 6 seconds on the Illidan, but what can he do? They're definitely going to get another keep if they wanted, or they could just like see what are the timers on those bosses. More than a minute. What are they going to do? They don't want to overextend, but really those team fights, they're not going to go well. They're not going well for We Are Not Prepared. They just don't have the sustain, it seems.
Yeah, they might even try and get this middle keep. They actually didn't. Somehow the wave didn't get bottom keep. Illidan went down there very quickly after respawn to actually clean that up. So good reactions there by Blackscorp, making sure that he's keeping at least 2 keeps alive in this game. So just 1 keep. I mean, it's a blow, but it's not as much a blow as it could have been.
Yeah, you could really see in the last fight how Blackscorp was trying to get back to Brightwing, but Brightwing was also attacked and had to move a bit farther away, so suddenly Blackscorp was all alone, couldn't survive there, and that's just such a shield, as like a Tassadar shield, it really comes in handy, but they don't have that added support. So right now the team fight's not going in their favor, and we have level 20 for Team Alternate, which is of course a massive advantage, at least for the next, for maybe like another minute.
Yeah, they're actually, wow, this is quite a long time that ATN would be waiting around up here at boss location if they're gonna. It's another 39 seconds or so before that would respawn, but looking to move into a closer bush, seeing if they can lure anyone in here from We Are Not Prepared, because right now they're staring down the barrel of a strong victory here in Game 1 if they're able to just pick up just 1 or 2 kills here.
Uh-oh. Oh, the napalm, alright.
Get away, you guys.
Blackscorp was waiting. They were like, they saw that Illidan and they were hoping he would move in.
Yeah.
It actually takes a lot of discipline to stay in that bush. That's a very juicy target, and that Tyrael, I can tell you, his fingers were itching for the judgment.
Oh, it would have been nice, but now they're going to try and bait up boss. They've taken their level 20 talents here, with Bolt of the Storm being taken on Valor, and, well, just the usual go-tos in terms of, well, I suppose Hive Master is a go-to here for Anubarak, but again, I haven't seen him too much recently.
Well, right now, the thing is that they took a Resurgence away. So with the Nubarak, it was mostly that he went for Resurgence, as you did with any other tank or semi-tank that you had. Every time Resurgence was an option, you went for it. Now that it's taken away, it's not really uncommon to see that added ultimate or that added talent that gives you the improvement on the ultimate. They take boss at the bottom, Tribute is spawning again. So far, no threat really to Team We Are Not Prepared. But of course, the problem that they have to face right now is top lane boss that they have to deal with really fast. But the initiation against Polaton, oh my god! He gets eliminated, deleted from the game, as does Sergeant Hammer and Killer Chino. This is crazy.
Oh wow, the combination of the damage, the blood for bloods, absolutely exploding some of their members, as well as Divine Storm. Every little bit of execution we've seen here from Team Alternate has been fantastic. So, well played to them. They're going to be able to take game number 1.
Game number 1 goes to Alternate. Great job against We Are Not Prepared here in the best of 3 series at the ESL Majors.
Wow, Alternate takes it on Cursed Hollow, and they are able to take down the Spaniards. Spain versus Poland. Game number 2 is just going to start up in a few seconds, and Alternate has done very well in the first one. Are they able to take it again against We Are Not Prepared? The map is the same. This time the map choice of We Are Not Prepared. They want to have the rematch. They are angry. They are eager. They want to win the next one, and let's find out if they can bring us a 3rd game into this best of 3 series, or if Alternate is going to be able to win this series with a 2-0 and claim their spot at the top of the ranks in the ESL Majors.
Welcome back to game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Cursed Hollow again with a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series at the ESL Majors for Team Alternate after taking down We Are Not Prepared in game number 1 on the very same map. To the left side of the map we have in blue Mopsio on Teriel for Team Alternate, Vasiliano on Anubarak, Rimek on Brightwing, we have Gluehammer on Tychus, Guccio on Tassadar. And looking to the right side in red, it is the Spanish team. The Black Scorp on Arthurs, Tidaka on Stitches, Polato on Uther, Killer Chino on Sergeant Hammer, and Falcon homing in on Zebo.
Alright, let's get into this then. As the split down to the bottom, we're seeing it's just Tychus, Tyrael, as well as Brightwing. And actually looking to go up to the top with Guccio and Vasiliano once again sitting up there on his lovely little Anubarak, trying to do something, but actually there was a slow response there at the top. They wanted to hide the composition that they had at the top 3 for a little while. They weren't able to get information on it.
Yeah, just trying to get the damage in with the tank, I guess, with the Sergeant Hammer, trying to move in and do as much as they can before there is a rotation that reacts to what is happening here. In terms of like builds, by the way, just to point that out real quick, we have on Stitches the sustain build that we suspected with Tree of Food, so Amplified Healing should be coming in on level 4. Oh, the hook against Mopsio and the stun lockdown! This is just that great synergy between Stitches and Uther. You always want to keep those two together, since you hook a target in, you stun it, and then that extra free damage that you dish out to the hooked one, and in this case it was Tyrael.
Yeah, and in that moment, Khaldor, I realized I haven't observed a game with Stitches in just yet, so I'm going to have to keep really good tabs on the top lane. Oh, jeez, I missed that hook to start things off. Not a good start, I think.
No, yeah, it's like fine. We have him here, so Stitches hook's definitely a big highlight there, and he's gonna try and throw that every single time the cooldown is up. 12 seconds on that, and he throws another one. This time the dodge by Mopsio, but Killer Chino is in position, just not close enough to the gate yet to do damage to the towers.
Yeah, and Guccio just going to hold on strong against Nazebo in mid. The hook comes off cooldown. I've done a clever thing. I've got him selected, so I'll see whenever the hook comes off cooldown. That's going to be my lifeblood for the entire cast.
Well, we have him right now, and Mopsio up at the front. Tidaka just waiting for the chance to move in with that level 4, hitting for 2 for both of the teams. There's already the first healing ward with the Beetle build again on level 4 here. Even in death is being used. I love how we have so many different builds on Tyrael.
Yeah, it's a really diverse champion. Hero even, I should say. Oh, missed hook there on Mopsio, as he does move out of position there. quite nicely. Sword gets thrown down just in case there was an opportunity to actually dive on in, but they're not going to give him that just yet. Tidaka taking some damage and then manages just to devour to heal right back up.
Yeah, in the mid lane we are still having Falcon in a position where he of course tries to win the lane against Guccio. He has quite some pushing power, but so does Tassadar, so the two of them negate each other. And the bot lane, that's where the first tribute spawns. We have Black Scorp already down here. He basically plays everything that's melee. When it has range, he's not interested in playing it anymore, so he's the man for all the melee assassins and for a few of the tanks.
Oh, a beautiful hook into actually blocking, and then the zombie wall eventually actually catches Tassadar out in the mid. But Black Scorp actually going to be able to pick up that trib whilst all of that was going on. So a really nice little start there to, well, we are not prepared.
Yeah, there's another hook that misses this time, but the tribute goes also to we are not prepared, so it's an amazing start for them. The kill that you already pointed out, the tribute that they have now, and the rotation straight up to the top of the map where we have Killer Chino doing even more damage to those towers.
Yep, doing well, doing well. Gaining quite an experience lead, almost half a level's worth here. And unfortunately for the tri-lane up to the top here for Team Alternate, there's just treachery everywhere. If you move out of that tower, you get hooked. There's a slight stun on Tychus there just to stop him with an overkill.
It's always very intimidating to have a tank against you because you are not only afraid of that hook in this case and the stun, it's also those mines. You are afraid of being hooked into mines, into stun, into the range of the tank. So there's a lot of, like, the threat is just huge.
Yeah. It just gives so much free damage once you get hooked. There's not a whole lot you can do other than run away for a while, unless you are someone like a Valor, like a Falstad, who can vault barrel out of there. But Mopsio got really stuck in between a few of them there.
Stitches here with the amplified healing on level 4 with a great hook against Mopsio, oh my god. And he just goes for Devour to get himself back to full HP a second before that. Very well played and controlled so far, but we are not prepared, and in this case, Alternate is starting to struggle a bit, but the healing ward helps out.
Yep, get locked in the zombie wall there for a second, but it's not really mattering too much. There's not too much follow-up here from Darker to be able to land a hook or anything like that. Gets Mopsio again, though. Should be able to jump out pretty soon. As does actually look for the jump onto Killer Chino, but the follow-up damage isn't there from the rest of the team.
Yeah, Tidaka on the Stitches still waiting for another opportunity to get that hook in. We saw one of the heroes, we saw Nazebo, rotate towards the mid lane a bit faster to give extra experience to the Spanish team. So he's trying to run with that. They gave up that tribute and just said like, okay, we're going to soak up the mid lane a bit faster. Going to give us that small lead that we might be able to capitalize on once we hit level 10.
Yeah, there was a small engagement down to the bottom, actually, with Anubarak going quite low, as did Black Scorp, and thankfully Brightwing was there for them to be able to make sure that not too much happened. And oh, the attempt at a hook, but a nice little juke out there from Tychus.
Yeah, Tidaka again with an attempt, but they of course were waiting for that to happen and dodged it in the last second. Very well done. Yeah, but that experience bar that we are seeing at the top of the screen now is leaning towards level 10, and there it is. That is the ability already. It is Gorge for Tidaka on Stitches. Not gonna see Bile here. Makes sense with the build that he's playing. But let's see who's gonna be the first one who has to suffer the wrath of Stitches.
Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of problems, especially now with the trib actually popping, although level 10 has already been got. Blink Heal going to be the choice here for Brightwing to add a little bit of extra sustain against this. Doesn't want to really have to push this force away. Impaling Spikes will actually rain in. Oh!
Yeah, well done. Nice block here, but not perfect. Oh, and we have Odin. Oh, Arkan actually already popped Odin. Not just yet. They're already moving in with this, and it looks like We Are Not Prepared is moving back. They popped the ultimate on Arthur's, but I'm not quite sure if they're really going to contest this. They're waiting out the Arkan, but I don't think they have a chance to grab the tribute.
And Nazebo went for Gargantuan over the idea of Ravaging Spirit. Is this because in a reaction or a response to things like Anubarak being on the field? What really prompted this, Khaldor?
It might be, yeah, that they just said like, okay, listen, I don't think that we're going to get anything with this much CC. If you look at the lineup now, every single hero except for Tassadar has an interrupt. So they were probably saying, okay, we can't get any damage in with this, and we're going to go for the Gargantuan instead.
Alright, well, it all depends on when they end up throwing it down, because during that fight just then, it didn't really do a whole lot. It just melted in the front lines of that fight. So they're going to take another tower here, though. Black Scorp gets impaled and then just runs on away. Has taken the boss as well. No challenging of that going down just yet.
I mean, there are only two explanations for Gangan. Either they're saying, okay, here's too much to see. We can't really get the Ravenous Spirit off without it immediately being interrupted, so we need to go for something else. It might be the weaker heroic ability, but we at least will be able to get some use out of it. Or he simply misclicked. Which happened. Which definitely happened in matches like this. But for now, let's give him the shadow of the doubt there and just say like it was an intentional choice.
And there's the Gargantuan as well, actually coming into this fight. Judgment straight on towards Falcon, but Mopsio was very, very low when he chose to go for that Judgment in. Actually, Anubarak also being devoured here and is going to fall down. They managed to get their own boss whilst all of this is going on, but they've lost 2 heroes to it whilst it's all been happening.
Nice heal on Falcon. He was about to die, but Polato, not only did he stun Gluehammer, but also did he heal Falcon. So he double saved Nazebo in this case. And well played by them. I mean, they lose boss, but they kill 2. That gives them some time on the map, and also it should give them the tribute. We have Tassadar starting to move in, and Brightwing is jumping in as well. By now we have 5 versus 5 heroes on the map again, but still that talent lead for the Spanish team.
And Uberak and Tyrael trying to rally forwards towards that tribute as quickly as possible, making these numbers as even as they can. And there's a little bit of damage being done to just knock them off their mounts. But actually coming in from the right-hand side here is Mopsio, trying to get on top of Palator. And actually also a little bit of a burrow, almost dying off his Palator, but manages to get behind the wall just barely.
Yeah, and Hidaka missing that hook. He was hooking into 4 heroes and he didn't hit a single one of them. He was trying to hook them over that debris there to just isolate them completely. Here comes the Gargantuan again. Very long the cooldown. Mopsio is actually going down against that, or at least he's close to dying, and there he dies. We have Rimek trying to run away. Polato with a great stun, amazing, hitting 3, and this is just snowballing out of control for Alternate.
Yeah, very, very difficult to go up this against this team. There was the 1 level advantage in favor of them, and they're going to lose another from that Gorge, able to kill them off. So 3 go down, a Tribute goes down as well, and they're going to have to contend with the boss on top lane.
Yeah, level 14 versus level 13, and a lot of momentum gained now for the Spanish team. We are having actually 2 Spanish armadas in the world right now, El Nexo and We Are Not Prepared. I can't wait for the battle between these 2 teams, but for now it is Alternate that has to deal with the Spaniards there, and so far they're not doing well in this first game, in this second game. They won the first one, but in game number 2 it doesn't look too pretty.
Yeah, basing back now and just going to head on home to eventually heal up and make sure that that Golem's going to do a little bit at the top. Tychus already there to eventually try and delay, but with the base back, they should be back in time to be able to try and contest this, surely.
Yeah, they should be. That boss, by the way, is going to do quite some damage at the top lane. Siege Giants are running after it, so they're really trying to help with the defense. The hook, oh, but the curse is real. Rimek was able to steal it. I don't think they really saw him there. Apparently they only noticed the other hero. Here comes the Gargantuan again. Gluehammer is getting very low, gets healed once again and uses his first aid too, but down goes Nazebo. He's the first one to die.
Falcon fell, and now what are they going to do in terms of the response? They're actually looking to pursue Darker down to the south. Whilst all of this is going on, and picking up a Stitches kill here would be very, very nice, especially since they cursed their opponents. So any more kills they can get would be fantastic.
Yep, Polato moved away with a cast aside skill on 13 from Tyrael. He's moving away again, and they are in range of Kilachino now. Polato goes down. Kilachino is being chased as well. There is a curse. Those buildings don't help you, buddy. And that's, of course, what they are going to try and take down now. Gluehammer, already in Odin form, is trying to take down that keep.
Infested Odin form looks amazing. I've actually not seen it too many times, but there he goes, working away at this. We're seeing Falcon actually respawn, but the keep ends up falling. And on the other side, the boss didn't even get a keep anyway. So, a really cool little turnaround, but they do need to still disengage from this fight. Yeah,
and they lost Tyrael already. They might lose Vasiliano here too. With another Howling Blast, they could do that. Vasiliano actually dropping out of the game in the second that he gets locked down. But oh my god, the counter kill against Arthas. And Kilachino. What is this game?
It's pretty ridiculous. At least Darker is causing a lot of problems from the north there, making it so, I'm not sure you really want to continue taking that fight, Alternate. But 16-16 now as the talents come in.
Yeah, it was actually like super funny, I feel, when Tidaka died just a few minutes ago and he was trying to run away. He ran into that corner and suddenly realized that there just was no way out, and he simply stopped. Like, he didn't do anything anymore. He just like stood there and took it and died and didn't even try to like dish damage out because he was like, apparently a bit unsatisfied that he wasn't able to get away there. But yeah, now he's back and back with vengeance, taking it out on those Merc camps here, taking the hard camp. We have him, of course, with Fishing Hook on 16. We're having the imposing presence on Uther for our Sergeant Hammer on 13 and 16 is the Spider-Mine talent to get that extra push. And a double blood for blood in this case for Alternate compared to the triple that we saw in game number 1.
I'm a huge fan of imposing presence on Uther instead of the idea of, you know, having your cooldown reduced for when you're at higher health. It's imposing presence just slows down, especially when you're going up against a Tychus, more so than not. And you're wanting to charge in anyway and be in range of everyone because you're looking for the Divine Storm, so there's so much synergy there for Uther.
Oh yeah, it's been the standard talent for exactly those reasons. Oh my god, there comes the initiation once again. Gluehammer is being attacked here as well, and he's the first target for them to drop. We are not prepared. Take them out. Nice ultimate by Polator. He stuns Mopsio as well, but he gets cast aside and taken out as Tyrell jumps in once again into the fray. Guccio is very low and dies here too. This is a bloodbath.
Yeah, Falcon very, very low. Uther might... Actually, well, I say that, he's on the same team, so it's alright. And they're actually still looking to continue on this pursuit, as Renchak actually gets to blink heal out of there, just barely.
Yeah, 2 versus 1, but they are very low indeed. Rimek is moving away now. So they don't get more kills than that, but they are moving straight towards the boss. They are trying to converge towards the boss and take that. We have the mid lane being pushed, so if you're on the team of Alternate, you have to make a choice right now. Do we contest boss or do we help out the fort in the mid lane? And it looks like they're trying their best to delay the boss attempt.
Yeah, tough stuff. This could actually really spiral out of control. If boss is taken here by We Are Not Prepared, and then they also get that trib up top, but it's too much to actually deal with. There's a grab on Solano, but he's going to burrow out. It's probably the worst target they could have got in that situation.
Yeah, the burrow strike is just like too good to get away there, using his E. The move to the top lane now to grab that tribute, and that is going to put the curse to the opponent's team. So they're going to get the curse against the Polish team here, maybe turning this into a 1-1 situation with a third map coming up, but we're not there just yet. So far we have that slight lead for the Spanish team, but they haven't won it yet.
Yeah, the boss for Team Alternate now pushing down the bottom lane. But at the same time, of course, they should be able to contest this with everybody alive. They're just lacking that keep, which makes it a little bit harder, as the bot lane is just a focus here for ATN. They know it's weak, and they know they have the potential to do big damage.
Yeah, the boss is starting to move in at the bot lane there. It's so interesting to see that they are cursed and they are still going full for it. There comes the Gargantua, and once again Vasiliano is in trouble. He gets stunned once, he gets stunned twice. Look at those heals! Mopsio was eaten during all of that. There comes the healing ward keeping them alive. Vasiliano about to die, but Stitches goes first and the Beetle lives! The Beetle lives and Black Scorp is now about to fall. Tyrael is already dead. Oh, the Impale misses. Nice Howling Blast, and he is actually getting away.
Oh, and Tychus actually just coming out of Odin, still very, very healthy, and Palato actually just barely saves himself over at home base. Going for some damage on the core.
Yeah, Black Scorp is actually trying to run away again. He was interrupted by Tessera several times. The core, as you already said, is low. It's down to 51%, but another kill. Wow, they get kill after kill, and Rimek might fall now too. They were trying to core it, but they are paying a very high price for those attempts.
That was very ambitious indeed. I mean, there was only really 1 or 2 people to try and help out the idea of that little damage that the boss had done. And, well, now we're going to see an attempt here for them to just go straight through the middle here.
Oh, and it was also that chase between Tazada and Black Scorp. Black Scorp tried to TP back with a quick B going for the Hearthstone, but Guccio interrupted him several times, nearly killed him, and he just moved away. And now we have that keep falling, but they need to be very careful since the bottom lane is still pushing in, and those catapults can threaten the core, and the core is down to 50%. So they are very vulnerable now to backdoor attempts too.
Oh, and look where we're already seeing Anubarak waypointed all the way down to that bottom right hand, so they might try and go for that. They may be anticipating the idea of them going for the boss, and if they go for a backdoor whilst the boss is being done, maybe that's their opportunity, their golden opportunity to take this 2-0.
Hey, you know, it's actually like also an interesting question if... I mean, if Tazada would have simply attacked, you know, could they have dropped the core? Would that have been the better move? With those storms and a potential additional Archon. They're moving back now. There comes the attack. The attempt to take the core Archon is there. They're going for it. They're just right-clicking it. I think they can do it. I think they can do it, Calaris.
Oh my god, so close, and they do get the kill on Anubarak. It's at 20%. I'm not sure they're going to be able to deal it. Here comes Odin as well. 2% and it goes down. Unbelievable.
Wow. Oh my god, like Alternate takes down We Are Not Prepared with a 2-0 here at the ESL Majors. What a game.